I think they will. I think it's going to take. Actually, that's a good transition. We'll transition to our final topic of the day. What are your thoughts for this Utah game? We're going to do some score predictions. We're going to do a really fun thing towards the end of the show. So, but we'll start with score predictions. Cole, what's yours?
35-14 Utah. I think it's going to take a drive or two for Utah to get going. It normally does. There's been times where their opening game against Weber State or whatever podunk school, they're down a touchdown or two, but then they come back and roll the team. I could see that happen.
Yeah, Utah's a team where they need to get their mojo going, and then like once they like put the pedal or the foot on the gas, like they don't let off.
Right. So I won't be surprised if Arizona takes an early lead, maybe goes up 7-0, 10-0, maybe something like that. But then the offense starts rolling. The defense figures out the Arizona offense. And something I like to point out that I feel like was one of Coach Witt's greatest attributes is I feel like the man, I don't know if there's anybody better in the Pac-12 at making halftime adjustments.
Oh, no, he's perfect.
I feel like he reads the game, he figures out the weaknesses and how to exploit the other team. And a lot of times I feel like Utah just comes out and is ferocious in the second half.
Ludwig also does a really good job. So the defense would be more Scally and Witt doing halftime adjustments, and the offense would be Ludwig and Witt doing the adjustments. But I agree, both of those coordinators with Kyle make some of the best halftime adjustments. I would like to use the example of the Utah BYU game 2 years ago, the one that was at Rice Eccles where Jason Shelley hurdled the BYU dude. Mm-hmm. We were down at halftime. And everyone was like, oh, God, like, the streak is going to be broken. Oh, and we came back. Jason Shelley hurdled a couple dudes.
And Julian Blackman, pick six.
Yeah, typical Julian Blackman, pick six. But I agree. They are really good at doing those, like, halftime adjustments.
Mm-hmm. So I think the first half will be close. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see 21-7, 14-7. Something close like that. And then I think in the second half, the offense and defense will have figured stuff out. And I think the superior offense, which is it's just in favor of Utah. And then I think a slightly superior defense, a lot of it has to come down with experience, which Utah doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of, but the talent is definitely there.
Yeah, I have it being 28-17 Utah. I think I completely agree with you. I think it's going to take a drive or two for this Utah offense to get going, but once they get into that groove, it's going to be hard to stop them. Just because there's so many different directions this Utah offense can go. They can go with the rush game. They can go with the pass game. And then even in the pass game, you have the subset of the tight ends. So I think they're going to be hard to handle in that capacity. And I think the Utah defense does get their feet underneath them. I think it takes a little bit longer than it takes the Utah offense to get figured out. But once they do, they're going to be able to stop Arizona. I'm not worried about Utah on the rush game and like on the ground game. Not worried about them. I think that this Utah defensive line is stout enough and has the depth and has the game experience, because I know one name I haven't heard people talk a lot about this year, Max Tupai. I haven't heard his name come up a lot, which is kind of surprising because he's really good.
Yeah.
So Max has played in the big games before. You have Mika. You have one of the Pututaus. I can't remember his name, but you have one of the Pututaus, and then on that other spot you have either Xavier or Van or someone else who's made the move up to that line spot. So I'm not worried about the Utah rush game, like stopping the rush from Arizona or the run, because Utah has always been really good at that. They have big bodies that are able to get in there and jam those holes up.
Yeah.
I think the secondary the secondary will give up a couple of big plays.
I think so too.
They're going to
be early.
They're going to be early and they're going to be big plays. And I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona takes a couple of deep shots early on in the game, knowing how young this Utah secondary is. Because
Sure.
why not, when you know someone's weakness, why don't you exploit it on the first chance you can get?
Oh, for sure. I expect Arizona to be throwing a couple bombs the first couple of drives, first couple series, and see if they can get up to put up 1 or 2 touchdowns early while the Utah offense kind of maybe takes a minute to get going.
I think I have 17 because I think that the Utah defense is going to have at least one really big stop
Mm-hmm.
that forces a field goal.
Yeah.
Because I think it'll be late in the game. It'll be like end of the third quarter, mid fourth quarter. They're going to have a big stop, and it's going to just stop the momentum that Arizona has. And I don't think Arizona's going to be able to bounce back from that.
Right. Well, this was no competition last season.
It hasn't been for a while.
Right. It hasn't been. I mean, the Utes burned Arizona for 517 yards compared to 196, 28 first downs to 11. And that resulted in 40 minutes of possession for the Utes on offense. That's
insane. That
when
is
the other
that
offenses
is
are on
one
the team.
half. That is
Yeah,
one half.
they controlled 2/3 of the possession.
That's some good math on the air. I would not have been able to figure that out.
It's what I do.
Cole's here to do math on the air.
No, I'm not. That's not my strong suit.
That's not mine either. That's not mine either. You know I struggle with math, but anywho. Yeah. Utah, this has not been a competition in years past, and I don't think it's going to be a competition again.
But I do think it may be more of a competition than it has been the last couple seasons. Utah's been able to blow them out the last few years, and I think it'll be a little closer.
It'll be closer just because the Utah defense is going to give up points that they wouldn't have given up in years past.
Yeah.
Whereas the Utah offense, I have faith in them. I just think, again, it's going to take a couple minutes for them to get, or a couple drives for them to get acclimated to everything. Because it's a lot different lining up against a scout team player than it is lining up against another Division I player or like another like team. Because as good as your scout team is, they're not the real thing.
Right.
But that leads us to something I've been looking forward to. So I do this thing for the Chronicle when I write my football previews. It's called Mascot Matchup. So what it is we take Swoop, our lovely mascot, and we pin him against the mascots for the opposing teams. So this week, we have the Wildcats. Wilbur and Wilma, I'm pretty sure are their names. But
so you got to explain what Swoop is, Sammy.
So Swoop is a red-tailed hawk, for those of you who don't know. He is very cool, and I like Swoop a lot. Swoop is good.
He looks awesome in his oversized snapback hat that he occasionally wears.
Or at gymnastics meets when he rocks a Leo. Those are great.
All out. Swoop goes out.
Full send for Swoop. But here's the deal. Would Swoop be able to take down these two Wildcats? Cole, what are your thoughts?
Easy. Swoop. He swoops down. He gouges their eyes out. They can't see the remaining attacks. Easy.
It's a 2-versus-1 situation, which should make me think that Swoop might not win. But Swoop would be able to take him out, no cap. He's got the sharp talons. He just goes in there. Maybe the eye gouge. Maybe he just starts like clawing at him. Maybe he picks him up by the mouth and then just drops him in like a river or something. I don't know. But Swoop would win this, hands down.
Maybe he'd frisbee his hat at one of them to distract the other.
That's happening. That's smart.
If he's rocking the gymnastics fit, kick flips, dude, flipping, going all around. They can't touch this guy.
Flip and then land on them. Because we've all seen Swoop try and do the vault at gymnastics meets for like a free haircut. 9 times out of 10, he doesn't land it very well. Or he doesn't land it at all. So maybe he could just use his sheer body weight and just smash them.
I think it's easy. Those talons are no, and the air attacks. Are you kidding me? How do you get him? You only have a shot at him when he's taking shots at you.
Yeah, and then also like, how do the Wildcats attack him? Do they just? I'm not familiar with a Wildcat and like how like they like. What is a Wildcat actually? Side note: is it like a cougar or like a puma or like what is? I don't know what a Wildcat is, but I don't think they would have the advantage.
Troy Bolton, is that who we're playing?
We're surrender. Okay, I'm not gonna sing on the air, but anywho, but Swoop would take him down, no cap, hands down. Swoop's gonna just get him. Maybe the combo. Maybe for one of them, he goes in with the talons and gouges the eyes, and the other one, he just claws.
Either way,
Swoop wins his hands down.
Swoop for the win.
Swoop.
And Utah for the win.
Swoop and Utah for the win. So sadly, that is all the time we have today for Ute Dash. I just want to remind you guys that we are writing columns now through Sports Pack 12. You can follow them on Twitter at SportsPack12 and check out their website, sportspack12.com. Also, while you're on your computer, check out our website. It's dashsports.tv. Also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at @sportstv. You can also find our columns on the website too. So they're everywhere. But anywho, that's all the time we have for today. I will be on Friday talking this game again, but with one of our buds from Wildcat Dash. So be sure to check in on Friday for that. And as always, Cole, what do we say?
Go Utes, baby.